Introducing LT Defense Tactical Gear, your ultimate solution for top-notch protection and performance in the field. Our armor bundles provide unmatched safety and comfort, while our battle belts and holsters ensure quick and easy access to your gear. Stay prepared for any situation with our high-quality medical supplies, designed to keep you ready for action at all times. Looking to enhance your skills? Our firearms training programs will take your proficiency to the next level. Trust LT Defense for all your tactical gear needs and gear up for success on the battlefield.
The fact that
cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gabfest show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Hello, friends. I'm Kent Skelton, and I'm so glad you are here. Together we can battle this struggle and find freedom from it all. Life is continuous, and it would be ridiculous to say that you or I don't experience those seconds, minutes, hours, or days that seem like they'll never end. Time continues on, regardless of how we feel or what we experience. We search, longingly for a way to handle and navigate through these situations we are experiencing. There has to be a way. Surely I can find the solution to get rid of these negative experiences and periods of despair I am feeling. Maybe it's not our own problems, but those of family members or loved ones that are living in pain. These pains may come from alcoholism, addictions, illness, grief, boredom, and in so many other forms. What will we do? Where is that light I'm supposed to be able to see at the end of the tunnel? When will I see it? When will this end? The timing to realize you need help is up to each of us. That's you, that's me. We are each individually accountable for ourselves. We have to make the change, and the timing is now. There's no time like the present to desire and begin that road to recovery. Together, let's reach that freedom from struggle.
Hey, welcome to the Freedom from Struggle Show. I'm a grateful believer in Jesus Christ. I've struggled with alcoholism, anxiety, depression, anger, but I'm really celebrating recovery over alcoholism and several, making no way with a lot of my other struggles that I've had. My name's Kent. I am a grateful believer in Jesus Christ, like I mentioned, and saved by God's grace. Today, we welcome Eva's right here along with us on the Freedom from Struggle Show. Good afternoon, Eva.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing very well, very well. Happy New Year. I haven't seen you I've seen you on the air, but I haven't seen you in the same studio at the same time. So happy New Year, Eva.
Same to you. We've got snow here in Texas. You made it here before the storm hit, right?
Yes, I did. Hey, I wanted to kind of start to show off today with I wanted to wear a cowboy hat, but I just didn't have it available right now. I was kind of practicing. Has Fort Worth ever crossed your mind? But since you live over that direct, or you're over that direction, I'm over here. I guess I'm to the east of Fort Worth, and but we're
That would be
basically
Dallas,
the same.
fast Dallas.
We're in the same metropolitan area, right? But we're separated by about 45 minutes or close
Yeah.
to an hour.
Who knows if we'll get to see each other before you leave town, you
Well,
know?
Eva, we certainly are hoping to tomorrow to arrange something. Terry, our other representative from Military Broadcast Radio, is planning on joining in with us, and we're gonna be able to do something. We're gonna get together, having a cup of coffee, a sandwich, or something tomorrow.
That
Folks,
would be fabulous.
I just got to
And
make
and
sure.
do the group selfie. It's called the Ussy, you know?
Yeah. We might have to record something, huh?
Yeah.
Have all three of us together. But look, we really do want to welcome everybody here to the Freedom from Struggle show. It's just for a show for anyone with any type of hurt, habit, or hang up. We kind of look at the 12-step program, okay? A faith-based 12-step program that it can help anybody really with anything. It doesn't matter if you see any type of hurt, habit, or hang up. In other words, if we're living even, because we all have little problems here and there, whether we want to admit it or not. But a lot of times it's worth taking that first step, admitting we actually have a problem. And by being honest with ourselves, we admit we're powerless over our addictions, our compulsive behaviors, that our lives have become unmanageable. In AA, it said, hey, I admitted we was powerless over alcohol. And there's a Bible verse that we look at that goes with this. And it's Romans 7:18 says, I know that nothing good lives in me, that is in my sinful nature. For I have the desire to do what is good, but I just cannot carry it out. And that is so true with so many different things. Later on in one of the latter segments of the show, we are going to talk about resolutions, like New Year's resolutions. You know, we sit here and want to set these goals, but a lot of times for whatever reason, we're powerless over accomplishing them. I mean, we're just powerless. We just can't do it. And we'll talk about some of those reasons also that what might cause those problems without being able to succeed or carry it on a day-by-day basis or month-to-month basis. And we'll also talk about the number of percentage of people that actually make goals. Well, not the percentage of people that make goals, but out of the people that make goals, a percentage of them that do not even make it past the month of January. And just want to share a little tidbit of that information with you. And but the biggest thing I got right here on the freedom from struggle part is, while we admitted we were powerless, the second step, we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could help restore us to sanity, to help us reach those goals. And in Philippians 2:13, it says, for it is God who works in you to will and to act according to his good purpose. And I tell you what, that's outstanding, because, hey, look, there's a little hope in there. We got a little hope. And this doesn't matter. It can be in times of despair or anything, but knowing that the power greater than ourselves can help us reach our goal, or, as the step says, restore us to sanity. We could use that in so many ways, Eva, whether it's, a desire to lose a few pounds, a desire to get a little healthier, a desire, which I practiced before, to get away from alcohol, but it can work towards any type of addiction, any type of hurt, habit, or hang up. And that's just such an awful thing. And I want to go ahead, and I got it, since I'm here, talked about those first two little steps. I got to share the third one, because this is one of the most important to me, and will get you well along your way also to achieving your goals and having a better life. And that's by making a decision to turn our lives and our wills over to the care of God. And finally, in Romans 12:1, it says, therefore, I urge you, brothers, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as living sacrifices, holy and pleasing to God. This is your spiritual act of worship. And man, I tell you what, that's made such a difference in my life. And that's the big thing that gives me the hope to carry on day after day. And but even more so, to grow in that hope, that relationship with the Lord, so I can help try to share that with other people, whether it's to achieve goals, to have a better life, and just to learn, the a common purpose that we all have, and the reasons, when we're so can get so confused, not even understanding why we're around. And Eva, you I know you are all about surrounding yourselves with good people and building up your community, building up your group. What's that you say? What is that, your book and stuff?
Oh, it's called Welcome to My People Garden.
Oh, garden.
Yeah, it's not networking, it's people gardening. Here's an example. Are you one of those people that collects a bunch of business cards, right? How many of you actually grow relationships with the people that you network with? Right? So are you a business card collector, or are you a relationship grower?
I want to be
And that's what I mean by people gardening, is that, before you can have those relationships with the people, you have to have a good relationship with yourself and God,
right.
to get those good relationships with other people.
Right. I like that.
Yeah.
That. And I'm all crazy about, I don't have that. I mentioned it before, I think, when we talked. I don't have a green thumb, but I don't even have to have a green thumb for building this garden, do I?
Right.
That's pretty awesome. Look, Eva, when we talked about, you talked about your people garden, your books. I know you've published quite a few you have several different things you published, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To put it mildly.
Hey, but I do know that you got a special giveaway today, though. We're
I
maybe find a
do.
few lucky people that might put comments.
Yep. So we'll be able to hand this out to somebody at random if you post what your resolution is for this year. And if you, that's great if you do resolution. I subscribe to the word of the year kind of category of things. My word this year is elevate with an exclamation point. Uh, so I'm upping my game. That's kind of how I think about it in my head. But I have a digital download version of my book, Welcome to My People Garden. It's the only way I can do this. So it will, there's a special code for it. So if somebody will, at random, however many people we get to respond, post their resolution or their word for the year, I will be happy to hand out, I'll message you and provide you with the code to download a digital version of the original version of the book, because I have the reprint that is going through the republishing process and will be out later this probably spring.
Hey, that's exciting. I hope we'll get a few people that, no kidding, will throw in a comment on there. Maybe
Yeah.
New Year's resolution, or maybe some other kind of what they would like to resolve, and it might be that they want to, they found that they need to stop drinking, or they need to make a big change in their lives.
That would be beautiful.
Necessarily a New Year's resolution, but a forever resolution.
Yeah.
And maybe they want to work through the 12, take that first step towards and ridding themselves. Now, obviously, if you want to make a resolution, just let us know what your resolution was. But if you're needing to get away from some type of addiction, hurt, habit, or hang up, let us know that, hey, you're ready to take that step to get rid of it, and just kind of on anonymity. You don't necessarily have to say what that is.
Oh, for sure. And feel free to PM me,
We also write, and we have ways we can be contacted. I'm Red at mbradio.us. And don't you have an email address?
I do. Eva at mbradio.us.
Red at mbradio.us, or Eva at mbradio.us, or even manager at mbradio.us. And we can listen, even if you want to talk to us or something like that, we can arrange where we can text or chat in some way, if it's email, or maybe even talk verbally. I'm always happy to do that. And that's just hey, that's just what I'm doing. So I'm not a counselor, not a licensed counselor or a doctor or
We're
anything.
kind of like coaches.
Yeah, I'm just, hey, I'm an accountability partner,
Yep.
and I have some experiences that I would love to share. Like I said, each person's kind of on their own to if I want to stop eating so much, I guess other people could help me. My wife could perhaps quit feeding me,
It's not a matter of quit feeding you. It's what is she feeding you?
you got to feed me the right things. But
Yeah.
I was thinking more on the line, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, so,
What you need to go purge
on me.
your
It's on me.
pantry.
It's
You,
on me.
yeah, you have to take accountability. You got to make those lifestyle changes yourself.
Right. And you have to maintain that honesty with yourself. Because I can sit there till I'm blue in the face, say, hey, I'm going to lose a couple pounds. I'm going to lose a couple pounds. I'm going to eat better. I'm going to eat better. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But if I don't do it, there's not going to be any change.
Right.
And I mean, that's just the way it is, right?
Yeah, but you got to hold yourself accountable or you're not going to make any progress.
Right. You're not going to make any progress.
I had a promise to myself that I was going to finish the rewrite by the end of 2024. And I made sure I did that. And I emailed that final transcript on 12/31. So nobody was like badgering me to change it other than I think God really pressing on me. I needed to change and, I needed to get that done. Now I can work back on my doctorate again. So.
And you're doing just that, aren't you?
I am. Yeah, I started studying already today. Vacation's over.
I wish I could help you in some way, but I know that I can't, and you know that I can't help you. So
yeah, I got to magically, morph the literature gap into my head and onto the paper.
that's awesome. That's awesome, and I'm pulling for you, buddy. I'm guarantee you, I'm pulling for you. And I know you've got what it takes. You got that dedication to doing it, and that work ethic to go forward with it.
Red, I think it's a lot about who are the people that are impacted by the things that we do, whether we're here on radio talking about this stuff and our goals, somebody else needs to hear it. What am I doing? I'm studying the effects that presidentially declared disasters have on veterans who become homeless after the disaster happens. So think about it. These are people who were housed before the disaster. Could be somebody like my dad, who's 81, lives in a house built in 1945. And I've had this discussion with him, and he understood. So let's say insurance doesn't want to rebuild his house. It was built in 1945. There's no way it's going to be rebuilt with the same costs of what it was way back when. So these are people who were not able to rebuild for whatever reason, and what procedural barriers prevent them from getting housed after the disaster, whether it's any of the storm issues that the FEMA regulations or whatever that maybe there's insurance issues, just not enough housing. What are those barriers that they encounter to keep them from being rehoused? So anyways, oh look, we have a comment.
Yeah, I just read that.
Yeah,
from Christine. That's awesome, Christine, and that is one of those important steps to take within the steps is getting that sponsor, because and I hopefully that all works out great for you, and this person is really ready to step up and be your sponsor. And don't be surprised. Sometimes you might ask somebody to be a sponsor though, and they're not quite ready yet, or they're a little apprehensive. I love to take on folks, so sometimes it's hard when you might have a couple other people you might be working with, but still that's the right step. And I prayerfully that individual is going to become your sponsor, and I'm sure y'all will have a relationships that last forever. And Eva, when you mentioned the how people might become homeless, and me and you remember we were talking one day about this, and I was talking, and I just kind of made this, just like the folks that suffered from the hurricane that went up through the Florida coast and then went up through the Appalachians. There's people out there, and I'm sure there's somebody out there that's still some people that are around and are homeless that have not been accounted for right now.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
and they may be a veteran, they may not be, but even now, after a week or so after we talk, what about the fires in California? How many people have been misplaced and have truthfully not just been run off or couldn't pay their bill or had a family type incident where they had to part separate ways? But these people out there have lost everything, and I'm talking about acres and upon acre, mile upon mile, home upon home, apartment complexes, duplexes. Wow.
yeah. And the trauma that's going to cause a lot of these people too, that's going to be tough. And I think that's probably the hard aspect if you're talking about celebrating recovery. How does normal life is one thing, but what are those traumatic events that happen in your life and the choices that you make to handle those trying situations? And I think that's where God really comes into play on being able to, trust in him. My verse for my word elevate this year, I shared it on my Mighty People Garden podcast. I chose Psalms 21:7. For the king trusts in the Lord through the unfailing love of the Most High, he will not be shaken. So there were a couple of key words in there that I think that fit along with the discussion today.
Right.
If the king trusts in the Lord, what makes us think that we shouldn't trust in the Lord? So that's one, trust, right? Trusting in God. And then we've got through the unfailing love of the Most High. How many of us not only trust God, but have unfailing love for him? How many of us choose to make it convenient to trust and love God and not just unfailing love in God all the time, and that he will not be shaken? So shaken, that's like, what if an earthquake happens and something shakes us? To have that kind of unfailing trust that that unfailing love to trust in God, that he's going to take care of us.
Right.
I don't know. Just something I thought kind of goes along with the conversation today.
Right. That's so true. I love that verse. And I was just looking around here on the desk. I'm at the desk of my nephew. Okay. He's a young American Christian, and he's getting married tomorrow.
Aww.
But I know I saw that Bible verse here on his desk. And
I'm going to type it in the chat.
Around right now trying to point it out. I do see another reference of Psalms 101, but I know there was a Psalms 21 and it had verses 7 and 8 in it. I'm almost positive. Anyway, I'm not going to bother myself with looking at it now. You just mentioned it. And
you were thinking about the same verse today?
No, I saw that written on my nephew's desk.
On
a paper here on my nephew's. That's one of those God things. I mean,
well, 8, you mentioned 8, and I did never go and look at it again today, but it said, your hand will lay hold on all your enemies. Your right hand will seize your foes. Wow, that's pretty strong and powerful.
Hey, and I love, a lot of people say they have a hard time understanding the King James Version. The King James Version says, thine hand shall find out all thine enemies. Thy right hand shall find out those that hate thee. Like, wow, that's strong.
It's powerful, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it is so much. And Look, well, I know that Christine, she jumped on that comment so quick. So we've got to, I'm hoping that you'll definitely contact her with your little gift.
Oh, for sure.
Find out, tell her to make sure, Christine, make sure you email Eva at mbradio.us. You can CC me too. I'm Red, RED, mbradio.us. But that's awesome. That's cool stuff. Christine Mason.
That's exciting.
That really is. I like it, and I appreciate the comment. I also put down at the bottom here, I want to make sure everybody knows, there's multiple ways to recovery. Okay. This right here, this 12-step program, this faith-based is a lifetime deal. It's a relationship with our Creator. I urge anybody and everybody to follow it, regardless if you have any type of hurt, habit, or hang up, or you know of anybody that might have any kind of issues that are going on. And it's for sinners. I mean, it's for all of us, though.
Hey, I have a question for you.
I always want to share that, Eva.
Yeah.
But one other big thing is I want to put down there on the bottom of the scroll, as people will see this in the future. There's several different phone numbers that people can contact if they have any type of problems. Wherever everybody always knows 911, but there's also other numbers that can be available. Hey, jot them down or save the subscribe to the channel, because we have this down there so often. I also have it in the description on my YouTube channel, Red's Roundtable. Posted on my Facebook page, but it's somewhere. It's just another place where you can get that, and you can let somebody else know there's people you can call. We're not all, while we're responsible for ourselves, there's nothing wrong with watching out after each other. Speaking of that, with our military, it's been 27 minutes here since we started our program, Eva, and we need to have a little word from our sponsors. And I'm just going to throw that in here right now. LTD Defense, Longhorn Tactical Defense, man, y'all check them out. LTD.com, defense.com. They are one of our big sponsors here at Military Broadcast Radio. We started out the beginning of the show with a little excerpt, our little message from them. But let's hear a song real quick from one of our veterans, and we'll just proceed on, and we'll come back right after this song, and we'll talk a little bit more about resolutions, and we're going to find out some stuff that Eva's got up her sleeve, that's coming out with maybe some new shows, some new books, with it, a little bit of new everything. Okay. All right, here we go. We'll listen to this song real quick.
It's the guts and it's the glory. 100 stripes, 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's a line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Hey. From the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana to the golden coast of California, Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop, and his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's the line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on the front line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, pay the marching line. Hey. Hey.
Well, I love that salute at the end. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. Happy New Year, everybody, from the Freedom from Struggle show at Red's Roundtable. Sitting here again with Eva Fulton. And look, I can't believe so much time has already passed. It really surprising, but
I know. I PM'd Christine and sent her the code for my book, and she gave me a heart for my little message to her and said, "Oh, I thank you so much. I appreciate you."
That's
Well,
cool.
Christine, we appreciate you sharing with us, and please reach back out to me. I think you might be great. I'm going to jump in, Red, because I've been on the what is it called? I've been on training wheels with you guys doing radio show co-hosting between you and Kiara on the Smile Show.
Sure, that's right. Yes.
Yeah. So, I've been prepping behind the scenes to put my own show together. So that'll be launching in the very near future. I've been planning the launch on it, and I will probably share the trailer for my documentary, From Pain to Purpose. So it is called the From Pain to Purpose radio show. And that's where I'm inviting all kinds of guests who are willing to share some of those pain things that they've gone through, whatever, whether it's women better than homelessness. I had a really bad car wreck in 92 on my birthday. I survived war and then almost died in this really bad car wreck. And, I think this is the platform to be able to share that people have a story to tell, that we have to find our voice and share that. Because if we're going through things, somebody else needs to hear our stories and know that they're not alone.
That is so true. For Pain to Purpose. And do we know the time for the show yet? Or are you not quite ready to announce that?
I think it's probably going to be Mondays at 6 is what I'm looking at so far. Yeah.
Is that going to be, when you say 6, is that going to be 6 during people hours?
Yeah, in the evening, yes. not 5 a.m. Yeah, I don't know if I'd be able to get any guests on that early.
I'd always wanted to watch Kiara's show, the Smile Show, but it was coming on like at 5 or 6 o'clock.
I know, it was so early, but I got up.
But
she has such a.
So probably
I miss Kiara. I still message her.
Oh yeah. I'm wishing her well till she's taking some classes, and that's awesome.
She's a full-time student.
Terry mentioned on here, that's very exciting. Terry's the one that I'm planning on hopefully having something to drink with tomorrow, or something to eat noonish time, midday. We'll be planning that a little bit later. I believe all the ice is off most of the roadways here in the Dallas metropolis.
Yep. The Metroplex.
Metroplex. That's what I keep trying to say. We don't have words like that down in Biloxi, Mississippi.
I wonder why.
We don't use words like that. We have no need for them, right?
When you say metropolis, I'm like, okay, isn't that the Superman word, metropolis?
We talk about like the lower 3 counties, or something like that, or along the coast. But we do have 26 miles of beautiful beaches down there throughout Mississippi. That's pretty nice. But look, folks, the Freedom from Struggle show at Red's Roundtable, and we appreciate you all listening in. With Eva Fulton, the co-host here, which is going to be, like she just mentioned, beginning her own show on Mondays, most likely at 6 o'clock. Pain to Purpose.
Yeah,
and also,
From Pain to Purpose.
Slide in here and throw a comment in on something you maybe made a resolution for this year, and and maybe you might even get you a little courtesy copy of it online copy.
Yeah, I have more of these. I have
You
more
got
of these
yours?
codes, so
Throw in a comment. Would love to see you, or maybe see what you've made a resolution for, or perhaps an area you found in your life that you want to, hand over to the Lord and just do better, and we'd love to see that. You don't have to share what it is. Just say, "Hey, I'm taking that step." Is good also. But even, I was reading about these New Year's resolutions.
mhm.
And my big thing is I'm really wanting to try to lose 8 to 10 pounds a month. I've been trying the past several months. I hadn't done too well, but I have been going through Thanksgiving, Christmas, and a lot of those times of the year where you really indulge a lot. I mean, there's a lot of food put in front of you, and you can't make somebody feel bad about their cooking. You got to eat
But you sound like you're just giving a lot of excuses.
that denials.
That was a lot of excuses. I'm calling you out on that one.
Okay. Well, see, I'm now when you said that, now this might just have to do with why 70 to 80% of people do not go through with their resolutions that they make at the very
Because
beginning of
they
the year.
make excuses.
It's done. They're done even before the end of the month.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe, but there, and then there's a percentage, those other 15, 20, 25% that keep on doing it. And then there's always 10 to 15% that see it all the way through.
Yeah, but isn't the statistics that you've got to do something for 30 days for it to become a habit?
Exactly, to become a habit, to become
Right.
to become the new, and I'm doing my best now. I'm not giving up on it. I do not. One of those reasons is sometimes what did we say, unobtainable goals might cause reasons why you don't can't achieve a goal, because it's not
Yeah.
obtainable in the first place. It's unrealistic. Well, 8 to 10 pounds for me should not be unrealistic. I got plenty to lose. So I
Well,
think I'm doing good on that part.
I'm gonna post in here what the AI definition says. SMART. You got to make it
Smart.
a SMART goal. It's an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. It's a framework for setting goals that help ensure they're attainable and can be tracked.
Okay.
Do you have a scale at home?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it don't work right, because I mean, it always maintains like the same numbers. It doesn't, within a 2/10 or 3/10, and it always goes back to I don't understand it.
Okay. Then
Is it broke?
you haven't changed the behavior to get different results.
Right.
How much protein are you eating?
I'm eating a lot of protein. The only things, and even when I say that, I'm getting a lot of protein, but I think one of the problems I might make, just say like in steak, might have a lot of protein, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm eating a lot more than that serving that I should be getting, and maybe I should be getting my protein from another avenue or
No,
another
not
item.
necessarily, because even the VA dietitians, like for my weight, recommend 60 to 80 grams of protein a day. But the extra calories are usually in the sauces that you're putting on things, the
Right.
extra sugar that you're putting in the tea or whatever. So you got to go, sugar-free tea. And I don't like sugar-free stuff.
Right.
You're better off just making it
Unsweet.
with unsweetened anything,
Right.
right?
Black coffee.
Have you joined the MOVE program?
I have been part of the MOVE program, and I've learned some good tips through there. I really have, and I was having some success. And that was, and when you say that, is having an accountability partner, just like when Christine was asking for that sponsor. While I was actively doing the MOVE program, I easily knocked off 8, 9. Okay, listen, I will say that
I will be your accountability partner.
I'm 11 to 12 pounds below where I started. Now that's not as much as I planned on, where I planned on being at right now, but I have made some changes, and I have lost a couple pounds through the holidays. I haven't lost at 8 to 10 per month like I planned on doing,
Right.
But
But because it's been cooler, have you
I've made some
been
great changes. I really
do
have
you,
made some great changes.
yeah, but how much physical activity have you been doing to compensate?
Eva, thanks for asking that question, man.
I'm going to be your accountability partner on this.
Yeah. What kind of partner are you? Come on, partner. You're from Texas.
I'm going to ask you the tough
Listen,
stuff.
I have not done the physical, or I have not done what I need to be doing on
All
that.
right,
I need
so
to be
let's.
walking every day, and there's no reason I shouldn't walk twice a day.
But Red, isn't a lot of this the same behavior that you kind of talk about in the Celebrate Recovery side?
Right.
That you have to put in the work to get the results that you want.
It works if you work it, right?
I'm just saying.
Yeah. And that's one of those reasons I have to get more physically active. There's no doubt about it. And
Yeah,
I
so
have
count
some
steps.
things that, you can't help some reasons, maybe
Count your steps.
count your steps.
Yeah. Do you have a smartwatch
Speaking of smart,
or a Fitbit or something?
SMART, the SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound framework for setting goals that helps us. You like that? I'm pretty smart, aren't I? No, I do have a smartphone. I've got a smart watch, and I'm watching all that stuff. I'm really trying to, not necessarily watching the calories, but making sure I'm really starting to pay attention to the amount I'm putting on my plate. Okay.
Okay.
To make those, not to put 2 8-ounce ribeyes on my plate. I
Yeah.
don't need that much. I don't require that much. I mean, I am getting 100, 110 grams of protein a day. I'm drinking my fluids.
Okay.
I'm drinking my fluids. Unfortunately, I've been putting Splenda in them, but I'm not eating anything. I say Splenda. A lot of times I add Splenda. Sometimes I add,
and any of those sugars that have
right.
any of the
And I love
sugars that
water. I love water. So that's not a problem. It's just
but the sugars that end in tall are alcohol-based sugars. Did you know that?
What is?
The sugars that end in tall are alcohol-based.
Oh, okay. I did not realize that, but makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I got to get rid of the Splenda. Definitely getting rid of the Splenda. Terry Lynch is on there, and she was laughing. She laughed out loud. Terry Lynch is our voted in station manager for Military Broadcast Radio. We're glad to see that she's I thought she was going to be on the show with us today, but we weren't sure exactly how we were doing it. Me, Eva, and Terry were all planning on being on here in the exact same studio at the exact same time, but because of the 3 to 5 inches of snow we had falling over the Metroplex, if you will.
Little hiccups.
It kind of, it put a little damper on things, but look, we're happy we're here. We're happy folks are being able to tune in. And the cool thing about Military Broadcast Radio, I want to just throw this in there real quick because it gives veterans a voice, okay? And I'm not talking about just a voice to air stuff, to air problems, this or that or the other, but to give veterans a voice and helping others to do things that occupy the time when you think there's nothing else you can do, and all of a sudden, well, hey, you know what, I can share. I might not be able to go out there and do this, do that the way I should feel like I should be able to, or way I once able to do, but I can help others in doing that, and that's a big thing. Same way and that's how with the Freedom from Struggle deal, it helped me to abstain from alcohol. And it's worked. I'm telling you. And it's the 12-step program. I was doing it in 1994 right after I quit drinking. And I still do it. I still practice it today. That is not throwing a problem, but that's 30 years of sobriety from alcohol alone. So right there, I can be a spokesperson for the 12-step program. It works if you work it.
That's awesome.
Now I got to apply it to other areas of my life, like the weight and everything else. But now I've got an accountability partner here with Eva, and looks like Terry might be on the other end of it herself, but keeping me accountable. And they know where to find me right here on Military Broadcast Radio, giving veterans a voice. Hello, Eva. I want you to tell us a little bit more about yourself. It's getting close to the next hour. So we got about 12, 13 more minutes of airtime. I would love to hear more about what you got going on. I don't believe you shared everything. We did hear about your new show.
New show. Let's see. I'm an Army veteran, Desert Storm, right? So, if you think about the whole grand scheme of things, the Desert Storm women veterans were the first ones who were recognized as having served boots on the ground in an armed conflict, right? Yep. So you think even before us in the Korean, Vietnam, and they did not consider those women having served until, much later. So, they were considered volunteers. So we were the first women actually recognized as being in combat time. Okay. So anyways, I'm a public servant, work a full-time job, 4 kids, and I'm working on my doctorate in public administration. So I'm kind of a nerd, but I also have a international award-winning documentary on how is it? It's kind of a multifaceted women, veteran homelessness, and our post-military transition challenges. So I'm going to get to participate in a week-long seminar, actually leading the women version side this summer with Jose, who's, one of our other radio hosts. He's the Motivated Mindset. He's the show after hours on Saturday, or this show. So Jose are leading a week, and we're leading this week-long event in July. And let's see, my book will come out later probably this spring. So it'll be republishing Welcome to My People Garden. I kind of rearrange some things that kind of make it, make some more sense. So that's Welcome to My People Garden.
I love it. I still have, we talked about it. Welcome to My People Garden. I got to get a copy of it. And I'm not looking for the free digital copy. I'm going to go out and where can we find those? Are they on Amazon?
Oh, it's on Amazon. You probably can still get it on Barnes and Noble too. Okay. Yeah. I'm pretty excited. Good reviews, even from the first version. What I really tried to focus on, the republished side is, so this is a book based upon the parable of the sower and a couple of the other related parables. And I guess getting back to my story, both of my ex-husbands passed away in 2014 and 2015. So, I'm a 100% disabled veteran. You can only imagine that I never imagined having 4 kids and no dads around and trying to, pick my feet up and keep moving and keep my family leading in a positive direction on things. It hasn't always been easy, but I've, over time managed to get 2 master's degrees and, now working on my doctorate. Still single. I think my education keeps me out of trouble. So
yeah, I guess.
But I took up hiking and scuba diving along the way. So those are my 2 happy places in the world.
Writing and podcasting.
Yeah, writing and podcasting.
Yeah, you're here. You're doing it, right?
I found my voice. I finally am comfortable in my own skin. And I am a MOVE program graduate, by the way, from the VA. So I have taken advantage of VA programs and had the gastric sleeve done in 22. So.
Well, I tell you what, you mentioned that the VA does offer so many great things
Yes.
to veterans. A lot of times, I'll be honest, I don't think veterans might not know all the resources that are available to us, and might have to do a better job of sharing them with each other. And but the VA is very, very good to me. Luck, fortunately, just like the VA putting of course, I'm that guy that reads the newsletters and this
Oh, I
page,
read them
that
too.
page. And that's how I found out about military broadcast radio to very begin with, and giving veterans a voice. And at the same time, I was kind of toying with the idea of doing some type of YouTube channel or podcast. And so I think we finally kind of found a niche to get into, but where it helps others that are in the general public, but it helps veterans. It helps people like myself, just by being a part of it. And that's a glorious thing. I give God the glory for all that.
Of course. I think somebody had asked, what do we have numbers that show how many people that MBR helps? And I think the consensus from many of us as radio show hosts, we're like, you know what? If it's one person that we've helped, then it's immeasurable, right? I mean, that's like
Hey,
one is
I always say, if it helps one, if I
yeah,
live my life a certain way and I try to meet people, talk to people, if it helps one person, it was worth it all.
exactly.
In all essence, not necessarily, but and being able to visually see that you help that person. But just like in the Bible, it said, when you were planting seeds, with the Great Commission, telling others, making disciples of others, you don't know who's going to actually do it. It doesn't matter. Just you're planting seeds, you're giving out the good information, and that is
Yep.
going to prosper.
And being hopeful. We're showing that there is hope in humanity because somebody smiled or somebody lent an ear that they didn't have to.
Right, right. Hey, before we finish real quick, I want to, I've talked about the steps we do, and
Yep.
I never really get past step 3, because to me, those are the most important. And then those are the big steps you have to take. And the other steps are steps that you need to perform to really, to see your way all the way through it, becoming the real deal, making it truly a part of your life. But the first principle is realizing I'm not God, and that I admit I am powerless to control my tendencies to do the wrong things, to eat too much even, but due to the wrong thing, and that my life is unmanageable. And the Beatitudes go along with all these principles. And Matthew 5:3 says, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." And the second principle is earnestly believe that God exists, that I matter to him, and that he has the power to help me recover. And Matthew 5:4 says, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted."
So, quick question for you, Red.
Go ahead.
Let's say somebody is, they're stuck at home and can't travel anywhere because the roads are shut down.
Right.
What do they do?
If they're stuck at home,
They're stuck at home, can't get out, but they need to go to a meeting. What do they do?
I'll tell you what, there are meetings online. There's various resources. We got the Celebrate Recovery apps, and I mentioned that a lot because I am a leader at First Baptist Church Biloxi. So I'm privy to the information. I know it's out there. I know the resources available. Celebrate Recovery app, you can search it on your Android or iPhones, and CR, Celebrate Recovery. You can download the app. It has it shows all these different steps on there. And it has,
Find a meeting near you, find an online meeting.
And yeah, and then also not just Celebrate Recovery, Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, they're all online. Google them. You Google and you can find them. I know there's an app for Alcoholics Anonymous. I've got it on my phone.
There's a couple of apps I think I saw.
There's a lot of different apps. There's so many apps that are available for a little bit of everything. But the big thing I say on that is make sure you're putting good stuff in front of you. These like those hotlines and stuff like that. You have something at your fingertips where you can call these different numbers, and they can lead you to the right resources. and things like that. Of course, I'm myself, Red at mbradio.us. I'm always available. You can find me on Facebook, J. Kent Skelton, or Facebook page of Red's Roundtable. And man, I'm always glad to help, glad to lend the ear, and help guide you, in the best and most positive way. Excuse me.
Oh, bless you.
Excuse me. That I know of. I was trying to hit my mute button, but I just couldn't do it. I
We
couldn't
didn't hear.
hands,
Bless you.
operate two hands and talk and sneeze at the same time. But I want to thank everybody once again. No kidding, for being here. Eva, we want to close out the show here with the serenity prayer. I try to share it each time. I just pray that everybody has a good week and they come back here and hopefully hear the Freedom from Struggle show again. I hope to be able to tune into your programs here in the future, as you're not only co-hosting but hosting your own show. And who knows, maybe even raise a hand and step up and come visit one of our shows.
Be a guest.
Here in,
I have some exciting guests that I'm lining up. There's even
we love to have guests, right? We love to have input.
Yes.
Comments or call-ins. Unfortunately, we don't have call-ins today, but we love to have call-ins to the station, and we love for people to support Military Broadcast Radio. Also, you can always email manager at mbradio.us, and hey, come on aboard as a sponsor, as a supporter, and by watching the podcast, commenting when you get a chance. It's all showing support to veterans that are out here, helping give other veterans a voice. I know, I want to mention this real quick. Jersey Mike's. I know if you're in the Denver, Colorado area, you got to visit Jersey Mike's, because I know they help MBR out a lot. They help the station there a lot, providing with catering, different little things when we have events going on. But also LTD Defense. I saw the email or the actual website address just a second. I believe I misspoke it when I mentioned it earlier, but
I put it in there.
Where is
LTdefense.ltd is what it showed online.
Right. https://ltdefense.ltd. And you can find that. They got lots of items there for available to the public. But what I'm really loving right now, I'm wanting to grab one of my own, is one of the LT Defense tactical helmets. And they can come in. You never know with everything that's going on these days. You want to be prepared, right?
If the apocalypse is coming, you'll be prepared.
Man, I don't care if a tornado. I was talking to one of them. If a tornado is coming, they know. You hear some people.
Mad Max.
Better put your tactical helmet on, your defense helmet on. They're not. They don't cost too dang much. And man, if it can save from having some brain damage or some situations, you never know what's going to go on. Whether you're in town or outside of town or whatever. There's so many things that can happen, and we have to be prepared, and be aware of everything going on. I just want to share again the serenity prayer. I'm going to try to pop it up here on the screen also as I say it. And let's see if we can make that happen. And I believe it is right there. Now, look, folks, if you're driving down the road or something like that, it wouldn't be safe to bow your head and close your eyes. By all means, don't do it. But if you can, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as a pathway to peace, taking, as Jesus did, this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that you will make all things right if I surrender to your will, so that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with you forever in the next. Amen. And hey, look, folks, have a great week. Tune in to Military Broadcast Radio. Download the app, MBR, Military Broadcast Radio. They've got an app right there also. You can find the whole schedule, a lot of radio programming with music and talk shows.
And gaming's coming soon too.
Say what?
Don't forget, gaming's coming soon too.
Oh yeah, that's right. MBR has gaming coming up. You'll be hearing more about that in the future. Y'all stay tuned. Check us out on Facebook, on the web, and especially the MB Radio, Military Broadcast Radio, giving veterans a voice. Good day. Hear how that's not playing? Don't forget, hey, make sure you keep tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. Y'all have a good one.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.